Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to share with you guys the builds that I have planned for 3.28. Unfortunately, I've been quite busy with stuff in real life, so I'm only cooking up two new builds at the moment. I don't know, the rest maybe I'd need to look at what the new exceptional gems and the new uniques that we are going to get. But the remaining four will be the proven builds that I have played in previous league that from the patch note can see that it's not really that affected, so the build would still be viable. Okay, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, the two planned builds that I have for 3.28, coincidentally, both will be damage over time build, so your mileage may vary if you whether you like that kind of playstyle or not. But the first will be Bleed Perforate Gladiator. To be honest, I've never played Gladiator after their recent rework. So this will be my first time testing it, and I'm planning to have a max block build with a hybrid bleed approach. Of course, I'm going to cover this later in that specific build section. And then second will be Ignite Explosive Arrow Deadeye, and also another confession, I've never played Explosive Arrow before, so I'm going to play it. And then I saw I've seen how people played explosive arrow before, but I'm not going to do that because they were mostly using things like totem and such. I'll be adding my own personal twist into it. Okay. So of course again I'll cover it later down in the video section. And next will be Elemental Hit Slayer and Chaos Barrage Deadeye. These two builds are the build that I played for 3.27. I even created a build guide for it, and I'll just briefly cover some summary for that build later. And then the fifth build will be Lightning Tendrils of Escalation Totem Hierophant. This is one of the strongest totem build that I've played, and I'm glad to see it's not really affected by the patch notes as far as I've seen, as far as I've read it. And finally, Bleed Bow Slayer, also another successful build, but these two build are a little bit older, from 3.25 or 3.26. I can't really remember. Okay, first up, a Bleed Perforate Gladiator. So again, since I haven't played it yet, so I'm going to try around some new things. Uh, the first thing will be to play around one of the newly introduced unique this past few league, which is the Azadis Crest Buckler. This allows your lucky chance to roll 3 times instead of twice. So it allows you to really ramp up your block chance. As you can see here from the build, I have 96% block and spell block chance. That's where you're getting the over 1 million effective hit pool. So excited to try that out. And another thing that I'm going to do this time will be using a hybrid bleed build, which is basically a non-crit version that is buffed using uh, crit bleed mechanics like rupture and such. So my only concern will be how to properly transition it. Of course, probably the first shield that I'll be using will be Lycosidae, so that we can have that hits can be evaded. But ultimately, in the end game, we'll be using the affix the meta affix hits can be evaded on the weapon. So yeah, excited to see how viable it is to play a hybrid bleed. I don't think it's been played before. Well, at least not to my knowledge. Okay, next up will be the Ignite Explosive Arrow Deadeye. So again, I've also it's also something I never played. I'm planning to stack my explosive arrow fuses using Mirage Archer with the Deadeye's Ascendancy occupying force, and my the imagination that I'm planning for this build is that I will stack my clones will stack up the fuses, but my main character will charge up the explosive arrow using snipe to inflict that huge explosion for as you can see here, 30 million ignite DPS. Of course, it's purely theory crafted, just something I have inside my head. It's not really tested yet whether that mechanics really work or not. So very, very experimental. But so basically we'll be using 2.6 link for this setup, and also something that I think is quite interesting also, I'm going to stack enemy to debuff enemy resistance to very low amount. As you can see here from the POB, I'm getting like minus, what is it? Let me check again. Minus 96 enemy resistance. This is on a Guardian bosses setting. So yeah, also just a setup that I'm excited to test whether it's viable or not to scale that way. Okay, the next build will be Elemental Hit Slayer. This is something that I leak started previously, and something that I would like to comment is that it's very, very cheap to start with and very cheap to gear. It doesn't not even counting the exceptional gear that we can get from the Genesis tree using Keepers of the Flame. Keepers of the Flame, was it 3.27? I can't remember what's the name of that league. So you'll be using the newly buff Elemental Hit, also for 3.27, and you'll be playing around tri-elemental ailment application using Secrets of Suffering for Scorch, Step, and Brittle, and also for the Chill and Shock, if I remember correctly, for Summon Skitterbots. And then using Elemental Equilibrium and Trinity just to scale up our damage even further. So it's melee, but uh, with the path, with the build, the way the build is built, uh, it doesn't really feel like a melee build. It clears very, very well, regardless with that. But it's very strike range dependent, because it's a strike skill at the end of the day. But I have to say, as far as league starter go, it's a very smooth. It was a very smooth league starter for me for 3.27. And not going to cover much. I've already uploaded the build guide and the week one update for this build last time. So I'm just going to link you guys to that playlist down in the video comment section, in the video description down below. Okay, up next will be my Chaos Barrage Deadeye. Okay, I actually played a version of this build using Barrage of Holy Fire, but I reworked it in 3.27, and instead what I used was a unique interaction between Split Arrow plus Barrage plus Fury Valve for exceptional single target and clear. There's a there's a nuance with how Split Arrow plus Barrage support, how it works in terms of how it calculates number of projectile. I'm not sure if it's intended or not, but I don't see it's nerfed anywhere inside the patch notes, so it should still be working at the end of the day. Uh, the build has very high instant leech, and it's kind of fun to play it, and also the idea is also very novel. I searched around just to find out how to further improve the build, but I don't see people playing it at all. I think I'm not sure if I'm really casting my search my net to search around about the bill wide enough or not. But really, I think I'm the first content creator to really make something out of that behavior. Even the Path of Exile wiki doesn't have the, what to say, the specific interaction of combining these three split arrow, barrage plus fury valve mechanics to create a build out of it. Unfortunately, the build is kinda aiming dependent, so it's kinda skill dependent, so not really. Uh, it's not that much, but your DPS is dependent on that. So yeah, just something as a heads up. And of course, the playlist for this build, I'm also going to put down in the video description. You can see the gameplay and the description of how the mechanics work by going through my video. Okay, up next will be my Lightning Tendrils of Escalation Totem Hierophant. Uh, I played this in 3.26, as stated there. And as far as Totem build goes, I have to say this is probably one of the best Totem build that I've played in all of my Path of Exile experience. this is entirely because how busted the numbers on Lightning Tendrils of Escalation is. So uh, it's only strong because I would say it's very strong just because of that. But the bill, I'm not going to cover much about it because I already talked in extensive detail in the previous plan build video as well, and also inside my build guide. So I'm just going to link it as usual. But what I can say about the bill is that it's also a very general totem build, and you can easily make changes to what skill you want to play with the totem by making minor changes inside the passive skill tree and your gears. It's a general totem build actually. It's just that lightning tendrils itself is a very good skill numerical wise. Okay, now for the last build, which is bleed bow slayer. Also something that I've played for, I mean, quite some time before. And this version of Bleed Bow Slayer is also uh, one of the proudest version that I made for Bleed Bow. And uh, I played it in 3.25. There's been some changes since then, which is Ralakesh nerf, which I didn't cover inside the video, so I'm only covering it now. But you don't have to worry. I also make a note inside the note section of the POB, which you can go through to understand what changes that needs to be done to accommodate the nerf since then. It's not really that, how to say, that detrimental of a nerf. There's workaround and you didn't really lose much. So the build is still very much viable. It was slightly buffed in 3.27 because Rupture itself was buffed, but other than that, there's not much difference. Just you just need to factor in the Ralakesh nerf. That's all. The rest of the build still works just fine, and still uh, it still plays very much the same. And how you upgrade it, it's still very much the same as per my video guide from last time. And finally, we've reached the end of the video. Uh, so my thoughts for this build, um, most likely league starting bleed perforate gladiator because explosive arrow concept is just too untested. I'm not sure uh what difficulty I'm going to face, like whether my plan to snipe ignite the stack fuse will be smooth or not, or there's going to be some issue or what. So I'm not going to league start that, but bleed glad instead. Okay. So again, as usual, disclaimer, I'm just sharing the POB for the first two plan builds. Please don't get baited unless if you don't know what you're doing. But if you're like adventurous and you just want to try around, either alongside me with the bleed glad or uh, go broke with that ignite explosive arrow concept, it's up to you. But please don't blame me if anything's wrong with the build, because I usually make changes on my plan build on the fly when I played it, once I like as I go through the game and understand what are the strengths and weaknesses. If you want to be safe, just play one of the four proven builds instead. And again, at the time of posting this video, GG has not released any info on the any full release on the exceptional gems and the new uniques that are going to be introduced. So there's no consideration to add them yet at the moment, or no consideration for to play any build that includes that also. And finally, actually, I'm still kind of disappointed that GG didn't do like a major. I mean, there's a lot of things they introduced for 3.28, which is nice. But what I've really been wanting, I've been waiting for them to do is like the normal baseline skill shakeup, because ultimately the skill in the skill in that we have is not really that balanced. Some skill are just way better than others. So yeah, I'm still hoping, but really my wish wouldn't be granted for 3.28. Hopefully 3.29. Anyway, that's about it for my video today. Thank you very much for watching and have a great start. Have a great league start, Exiles. See ya.